aware that the length of this video is kind of excessive. If any of you prefer my traditional format for making these Speed Champions videos, here is a timestamp. Just click to that point of the video. You'll skip everything in between. It's basically just me talking about things. I think it's an interesting story. You may not. I'm assuming that if you did click the timestamp, you're probably, or if you're going to, you're probably about to be gone. So if you're sticking around for the majority of the video, just know I am aware that there are some kids who watch my channel, and you've probably seen in the past that I do cuss regularly. It's just how I do. Because this video is longer, there is more cussing. It's just by nature the way that things, I guess, work. So if you don't like that, I wouldn't consider this to be an excessive amount, but of course it's unnecessary. Just letting you guys know. So here we go. Hey, what's up guys? This is Bright Sugar. Today is January 1st, 2023. Most people would consider today to be New Year's Day, but us nerds know what it really is. Today is the day that the LEGO Speed Champions Too Fast, Too Furious Nissan Skyline GTR R34 came out. It has been a very disappointing New Year's Day for me. I didn't get it. Me and my family, we planned for this day. I think we left at 9:30. We gave ourselves a 30-minute grace period because the store was supposed to open up at 11. We perfectly got there right when the store was supposed to open. I'm looking at the LEGO store. I can see it. There's not a line to the door, but there's this line of people probably about like 12 feet from the door that wraps all the way around this circular part of the mall. I went to Topanga, if any of you guys know where that is. That's SoCal. I'm with my family. My mom asks, what is this line for? They say it's for the LEGO store. Immediately, I'm just like, no. January 1st, they chose to release a whole bunch of LEGO sets. I looked into it. It turns out there's way more that was being released today than just the Nissan Skyline. I have like a little shred of hope. And the doors open. We go all the way to the back of the line. I Google searched it, found out that there's a whole bunch of stuff, but we're seeing people leave the store with a whole bunch of bags. And we get about halfway there, and one of the employees comes out and he says something about the Skyline. I'm like, oh no. And so I walk up to him because I didn't hear exactly what he said. I said, do you still have the Skyline? And he said, we just sold out. I was so disappointed. You know, I go back to my family and I'm like, we gotta go. They sold out of the Skyline. So while we're leaving, I call up Glendale. They say, we just sold out of the Skyline. I'm like, fuck, man. Can't catch a break. I went on lego.com and I back ordered a Skyline. While I was at home, I looked online and it said, like, very definitive words. It says, will ship in 60 days. It doesn't say will ship within 60 days, before 60 days, at least 60 days. No, will ship in 60 days. That could be a legal thing that they're doing just to make sure that you don't think that you're gonna get it before then, so that if you do, it's a pleasant surprise. Whatever the case may be, I'm not willing to wait. I mean, I am willing to wait 60 days if I absolutely have to, but that would suck if that's the case. So I'm at home and I'm thinking of like things that we could possibly do. I called up Glendale again to ask them if they knew when they'd be getting another shipment. When I had first asked Glendale, they said something about Tuesday, but the second time that I called, whoever was on the phone with me, they said that they didn't know when they were going to be getting a shipment. Pretty busy day for them, so I wouldn't be surprised if I was just being, you know, pushed to the side. It is what it is. I can't blame them. I probably would have done worse. I called Topanga and I asked them, you know, I told them that I had tried to get a Nissan Skyline and that they were sold out. Do you know when you might be getting more stock? This guy told me that Tuesday they might be getting a shipment. So I was like, if on Tuesday I were to show up, what time should I come to the store to try to make sure that I get one of these? And he said, well, the mall opens up at 9 a.m. The store opens up at 10 a.m. So just as long as you're there before 10 a.m., you have a good chance. Luckily, I work the graveyard on Monday night going into Tuesday morning. The sun just came out, so that's why the lighting is so different. So Tuesday, I get off at 7 a.m. It'll take me about an hour to get there, and I'll show up at 8 a.m. The mall will open up at 9 a.m. and the store will open up at 10 a.m. So I will be one of the first people there. So hopefully I'll actually get the car. Now I noticed that he said might, so I asked him about it. I said, are you not able to confirm that you, not like a dick, I know that it sounds like that. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but I know that I was being as polite as I could. I said, you can't confirm that you're getting the shipment on Tuesday, and he said he's not allowed to 100% confirm because, you know, something could happen, like a tire on the delivery truck gets blown out or something like that. So I was just like, okay, legally speaking, they might get one, but realistically speaking, yes, they're getting it. So on Tuesday, I'm going to try to get one. Hopefully it works out. A little nervous, but I'll be recording. We'll see what happens. It is 6:02 a.m. on Tuesday. In an hour, I'll be leaving to head towards Topanga. The reason why I'm not doing this while I'm driving is because I already kind of struggle to form cohesive thoughts when not distracted by driving. So I figured that this might be better. The reason why I'm recording this, though, is because the universe, once again, has tried to throw a wrench into my plans. I got a text from my boss asking if I would be able to come in today at 10 a.m. to come into work, and I wouldn't be off until 4 p.m. Luckily, I was able to talk to one of my co-workers, not really co-workers because none of us work at the same time, but somebody who also works where I work, if they would be able to come in at 10 a.m. and then as soon as I'm back in the city, take over, because when they would be going in would be conflicting with one of their shifts. So they can't just take the shift all the way through. They would have to do one part of it, and then I'll finish up the rest of it. What this now means is in 1 hour, I'll be leaving to Topanga. In 2 hours, I'll be in Topanga at the mall. In 3 hours, I'll be inside the mall at the Lego store. In 4 hours, I'll be inside the Lego store and then leaving back to where I live. And in 5 hours, I will be back where I live, clocking in for work again. So I woke up at 5 p.m. yesterday because, like I said, graveyard. It's demanding, so sometimes you just have to wake up at really odd times that some people think would be really weird, but of course, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. I will have been up from 5 p.m. Yesterday now to 4 p.m. tomorrow. So 23 hours of being awake. It's gonna suck, but we're gonna make it work. I'm more than willing to do all of this bullshit in order to get the Nissan Skyline. Too Fast, Too Furious, GTR, R34, Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor's car. So yeah, I will see you guys once I'm in Topanga. All right, boys, I am now at the Topanga Mall. I have not yet seen if there's a line outside the mall or anything like that. I can only hope that there's not. There's only one way to find out. I'm gonna go take a look. It's currently 8:15, so I'm hoping to be one of the first people here, potentially the only person here. You know, I really couldn't be more upset right now. I don't understand how the universe can't give me a break and just let me have what I want. I'm gonna try again and get it. Obviously I didn't. I know it sounds like a joke. Like, I know it sounds like right now I'm about to go, psych, I got it. But, so obviously that was just a joke. I got the car, super excited. I'm so happy about it. And I've got quite the story to tell. So I show up at 8 p.m. and I'm waiting outside the mall to eventually go inside, which I thought was going to open up at 9 o'clock, but 9 o'clock rolls around and the doors aren't, you know, nobody's to open the doors. The automatic doors aren't triggering anything. I could have sworn that when I looked online, it said 9 o'clock, but then when I Googled it, yeah, it said 10 o'clock. It's like, okay, then I guess I'm just stupid. I'm texting my wife the entire time, and my wife keeps on begging me, just go see if there's another entry anywhere. And I kept telling her, no, I already asked people, and they said, you know, that it opens at 10. I feel like I just need to wait. Yeah, she is totally correct. There is another way inside of the mall, and you can get inside of the mall before the mall is open, which was very confusing to me. I didn't think that that would be the case. So I looked around, and come to find out, yeah, I found a door that was a little bit open. I walked inside. I felt really sketchy doing it. I felt like I didn't belong, but eventually I got to the Lego store. There was one other group there. Turns out they were together. It was a guy and who I presume to be his son. And really quick, let me just take the time out to say thank you so fucking much to my wife my beautiful, incredible, amazing wife. If it wasn't for you, I'd be a sad, fat, fucking nerd with no Legos. So thank you so much. So I see a guy and some like 11-year-old kid. We get to talking a little bit. Turns out they're here for the exact same thing, the Nissan Skyline. We keep talking, and he said that they're both trying to get one, and they're trying so hard to get one that they've even got the kid's grandfather looking at Glendale. I was like, yikes, all right. So we're talking, and I tell him that, I had gotten on the phone with one of the employees, and they said that they were supposed to be getting a shipment today and that there was going to be 5. And one of the workers at the Lego store comes out to clean the outside of the glass door. The grown man tells the 11-year-old, go ask her how many she's got. So the kid goes up to her and says, asks. He comes back. The kid said that she said they had less than 5. Less than 5 could fucking mean anything. It could mean 4, 3, 2, or 1. So I said, worst comes to worst, 1 and 1. Because he was planning on getting 2, 1 for him and 1 for the kid. And I said, worst comes to worst, 1 and 1, as in if they only have 2, are you willing to just skim out and get 1 and I get 1? Which is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know. And he said, hey, as long as he gets 1, I don't care. So in my mind, I was like, yes! Even though, of course, you can't trust him. Who knows what he would do in the moment. And then more people start to show up. And we've got a little bit of a line going. So it's him and the 11-year-old in front of me, and some girl who is about the size of a 7-year-old, but you can tell that she's not. She's probably like 20. And a worker comes out, and he says to the 2 in the front, being the people who are together, the grown man and the kid, you guys together or separate? The grown man says, separate. And the Lego worker goes, oh, okay. Totally saw straight through the bullshit, but all right, let's go. And so the worker asks the 11-year-old, what are you here for? He says, the Nissan Skyline. He says, Nissan Skyline, okay. And then he asks the grown man, what are you here for? He says, the Nissan Skyline. And then he asks me, what are you here for? The Nissan Skyline. He said, okay. And then he looks at the back of the line. There's the woman, and by that time, one other woman had showed up. He said, we only have 3 Nissan Skylines. What are you here for? And the girl goes, the Nissan Skyline. That guy was a fucking asshole for that. I feel bad, but also, I can't blame the guy. I didn't give up my Skyline. Anyways, I've done more than enough talking. I know that you guys are probably tired of it. If you did stick around to watch the entire thing, can't blame you if you skipped at some point, because the length of this video, I can only imagine, is getting ridiculous. Let's get to the actual build and review. Hey, what is up guys, it's Bright Sugar. Today we are going to be doing the LEGO Speed Champions Nissan Skyline Too Fast Too Furious GTR R34, the Paul Walker Connor O'Brien, to hit him with that. You get me? Look at that Johnson & Johnson. This set has 319 pieces. If you didn't watch the story that I just said, just know I went through hell and back just to get this thing. I'm so excited to have it. And this is a big day for me. If you guys didn't know, the LEGO Speed Champions cards that are coming out on March 1st have already been revealed. And just based off of what has been shown, this may already be a little bit outdated by what's to come. As far as I know, this doesn't have a chassis piece that the new ones are going to have. The chassis is a little bit lower, therefore the driver sits a little bit lower, therefore the hood could be a little bit lower. The entire thing just gets brought down a little bit, so the proportions are a little bit more even with what real life would look like. So that's going to be really exciting, but I don't believe that this car has that piece. If I notice it, I'll let you know. Let's get started. Alright guys, I have finished the first bag. I'm going to move on to the second bag. This is looking pretty good. Very typical LEGO Speed Champions fashion to have the first bag be the back half, then the second bag be the front half. That I've seen a million times. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on this one, and I've seen the blue underglow, which I think is really cool. The bumper is also pretty cool. It's got some hooks that are like this. You put them on a bar, and the entire rear bumper goes onto that. This exhaust pipe is a little flimsy. It's not the greatest, but you know, I'm not going to touch it, so it'll be fine. The wheel wells are printed pieces, which is nice. I could see myself getting that confused because there is a certain pattern, and I'm pretty sure that if I were to put that on this side, it would have been backwards. I noticed that a little bit into it, and I realized that I might have messed it up. And I looked, you know, at the manual, and I looked at the car, and just by chance, I got it correct. The sticker placement so far is pretty good. You can judge that for yourself, but by my standard, that's pretty damn good. If you guys saw any of my recent videos, I've started making a real effort to make sure that the stickers look as good as possible. We all know how I feel about stickers, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to make this car look as good as it possibly can. Overall, I think it's looking really cool. And then, of course, we've got Connor O'Brien. I'm assuming that he's probably going to sit right here, but there are some bricks there already, so there may be a seat that's going to go there first or something. I don't know. I know that there needs to be space for the NOS bottles, because I do know that there are going to be NOS bottles right here. And I've only gone through about 8 stickers, I think, in total. So quite a bit more to go. I think this one had 22 stickers. I only went through 8, so I've still got 14 more to go. But that's okay. I'm gonna go into bag 2. We'll do that time lapse, and then we'll finish this up. Connor O'Brien's Nissan Skyline GTR R34 is now complete, and I have got to say, this thing looks incredible. I've brought 2 other cars on the table. I hope that the relevancy of these were obvious enough. This is a Fast and Furious Speed Champions car. This is a Nissan GTR. So, you know, Nissan family and Fast and Furious family. So we got them all out. This car is amazing. I really, really like it. And I think a big part of the reason why I like it so much is because of all of the hassle that I went through to get this thing. If you guys watch the full video, then you know what I'm talking about. But if not, well, actually I did explain in the beginning that this was difficult for me to get. You can see that I've got Connor O'Brien in the front seat. Originally I thought that the NOS was gonna go on this side, but I forgot that because this is a Skyline, this was Japanese only, and then once the 25-year, whatever you call it, was up, these were able to be, you know, brought into America. So I found it really funny that, yeah, he sits on what us Americans call the wrong side. So I like that a lot. And it's very low, sitting to the ground. You can see the underglow. The front portion was really interesting. There's a lot of complicated things going on here. So this whole front section, you got to get stickers in really wonky places. There's no sticker on the very top up here, but there is one down here. And then this section right here, I feel like would be really hard to get out because it's got like the tubular bit with like a hook. It literally looks like how my arm looks right now. And then this is sitting inside of a post that goes inside, and this C shape is hooked onto a bar that's located somewhere around here. It goes really deep. Yeah, this thing looks so good. I'm really excited about the way that this came out, and I can't wait to have it on my shelf with the Dodge Charger. Have them like this. I'm not gonna say the thing that everybody says about the movie. Doesn't matter. They're gonna sit next to each other because it's perfect. The one thing that I was hoping to see that I didn't see, it's not a deal breaker, is the lowered chassis piece that I was talking about. In the intro, I had mentioned that chassis piece that is one plate lower, creating the domino effect so that the character sits lower and the roof of the car sits lower, making the proportions look better. This is missing that. I looked at the chassis. It's not the one that I was talking about. It's okay. None of these cars have it, and they came out pretty good looking. Now, having that knowledge, I do believe that this this GTR really could sit lower. This being a muscle car, it doesn't affect it really. But there are a lot of cars where having a lower roof would be more fitting for the proportions, but I think this came out great. I did see a lot of people online were complaining about the studs here, and that they didn't just put flat plates, and I totally get it. I don't think that they're gonna always come out looking perfect. If you guys have seen the ones that are coming out on March 1st, I think that all of those look pretty much perfect. But this one, I'll accept the small amount of flaws that it has, just because I wasn't expecting something perfect. I never do with Speed Champions, but they're close enough that I love them. They're really, really cool, and this one is no exception. In fact, this is kind of a standout, if anything. This is probably one of the better looking cars that have just come out in the series altogether. Really excited for the ones to come though, because it is going to get better for sure. But this is, to date, probably the best one I've seen. I don't know where I would rank it against the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie is currently my favorite. But this thing is, there's just so much about it. It's not just the way that it looks, because yes, the way that it looks, it is incredible. They really killed it with this one, but also it's how tough it was for me to get it that kind of adds character to it. So like, something that I talk about often is the building process. If the building process is fun or unique, typically when I look at a car, I kind of go back to that moment, and it makes me enjoy it even more. This one was definitely unique. It was very strange. There were some things where I was like, I couldn't tell exactly where something was going until it happened, and that was a lot to do with the front and rear bumper. But another thing is that cat and mouse chase, trying to go there once to get it, end up failing, takes an hour to drive out there and an hour to come back. So that's a 2-hour trip for absolutely nothing. And then I have to do it again just to hopefully get it, and then I do get it, but just barely. Like, the whole thing, it makes this so much more worth it for me. I hope that that doesn't happen again. I'm not trying to say that in order for me to enjoy a car, it's got to be this annoying chase of let me have it, and they keep on saying no. That's definitely not what I want, but it made it more exciting once I did get it. So I was seeing some people saying that they were going to themselves add flat plates to the car. I've gotten so many comments previously, people telling me that in their Speed Champions collection they've modified cars. That is not something that I ever plan on doing. I am a collector of these, and I like to keep them in the exact same way that the Lego creators intended them to look. Not saying that I've got anything against that. I don't know if that's a thing, if there are people in the Lego community who don't like people who modify cars or what. I know that modifying is a thing, I just don't know how everybody feels about it. So in case there are people who think you shouldn't do that because you're messing with something, that's not how I feel. I just wouldn't do it to these specifically. Would I ever buy a second set and then look up someone's mod and do it? Maybe, but it would feel like a waste of money, because I wouldn't put it on the shelf. Just be a fun little project. But I just love the way that these look by themselves. Oh, I almost glanced over something. The weird Nissan lights, the weird Nissan brake lights that they have, the small circular one. I wasn't sure what I was looking at when I first saw those, but it turns out it's just a square 1x1 tile, and it's got a cover over it. So, the back part clips in, and then the cover it sits on top of another brick, but it has a cover. It's like a 40-degree angle, and if the circle is right here, it goes like that. I don't know how to explain these things, so sign languaging is the best thing that I can do, I guess. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this, especially if you didn't skip the middle part. If you did skip it, I can't blame you. I know that your time is precious, blah, 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 blah. But seriously though, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one, whatever that is. Peace.